in which an affair unfolds, and we see the damage wrought upon the scorned. Chapter 6. Princess Betsy left the theater without waiting for the end of the last act. She had just time to go to her dressing room, sprinkle powder on her long, pale face and wipe it off, put her hair to rights, and order tea served in the big drawing room, when carriages began driving up one after the other to her huge house on Bolshaya Morskaya. The guests stepped down onto the wide porch, and the corpulent doorkeeper, who used to read newspapers in the morning behind the glass door for the edification of passers-by, noiselessly opened this huge door, allowing people to pass. Almost at one and the same time, the hostess, with freshened hair and freshened face, came through one door, and the guests came through another, into the big drawing room with its dark walls, plush carpets, and brightly lit tables shining under the candlelight with the whiteness of the tablecloth, the silver of the samovar, and the translucent porcelain of the tea service. The hostess sat by the samovar and took off her gloves, moving chairs with the help of unobtrusive servants. The company settled down, dividing itself into two parts, one by the samovar with the hostess, the other at the opposite end of the drawing room round the ambassador's wife, a beautiful woman in black velvet and with sharp black eyebrows. The conversation in both centers, as always in the first minutes, vacillated, interrupted by meetings, greetings, offers of tea, as if seeking what to settle on. "She's remarkably good as an actress. One can see that she studied Kaulbach," said a diplomat in the ambassador's wife's circle. "Did you notice how she fell?" "Ah, please, let's not talk about Nielsen. It's impossible to say anything new about her," said a fat, red-faced, fair-haired woman with no eyebrows and no chignon, in an old silk dress. This was Princess Miyagi, well known for her simplicity and rudeness of manner, and nicknamed the Enfant Terrible. Princess Miyagi was sitting between the two circles, listening and participating now in one, now in the other. "Today 3 people have said the same phrase to me about Kaulbach, as if they'd agreed on it. And the phrase, I don't know why they like it so much." The conversation was interrupted by this remark, and they had to invent a new topic. "Tell us something amusing but not wicked," said the ambassador's wife, a great expert at graceful conversation, called small talk in English, turning to the diplomat, who also had no idea how to begin now. "They say that's very difficult, that only wicked things are funny," he began with a smile. "But I'll try. Give me a topic. The whole point lies in the topic. Once the topic is given, it's easy to embroider on it. I often think the famous talkers of the last century would now find it difficult to talk intelligently. Everything intelligent is so boring." "That was said long ago," the ambassador's wife interrupted him, laughing. The conversation had begun nicely, but precisely because it was much too nice, it stopped again. They had to resort to that sure, never-failing remedy, malicious gossip. "Don't you find something Louis Quinze and Tushkevich," he said, indicating with his eyes a handsome, fat-haired young man standing by the table. "Oh, yes, he's in much the same style as this drawing-room, which is why he frequents it so much." This conversation sustained itself because they spoke in allusions precisely about something that could not be talked about in that drawing-room. That is, the relations between Tushkevich and the hostess. Meanwhile, by the samovar and the hostess, the conversation, after vacillating for some time among these three inevitable topics, the latest social news, the theater, and the judging of one's neighbor, also settled as it struck on this last topic, that is, malicious gossip. "Have you heard? That Maltashef woman, not the daughter, but the mother, is making herself a Diablo Rosé costume? It can't be. No, that's lovely. I'm amazed. With her intelligence, for she's not stupid, how can she not see how ridiculous she is?" Each had something demeaning and derisive to say about the unfortunate Mademoiselle Maltashef, and the conversation began to crackle merrily like a blazing bonfire. The Princess Betsy's husband, a fat, good-natured man, a passionate collector of etchings, learning that his wife had guests, stopped in the drawing-room before going to his club. He approached Princess Miyagi inaudibly over the carpet. "How did you like Nielsen?" he said. How you can sneak up like that. You frightened me so," she replied. "Please don't talk to me about opera. You understand nothing about music. Better if I descend to your level and let you talk about Majolica and etchings. Well, what treasure have you brought recently at the flea market?" "Want me to show you? But you know nothing about it." "Show me. I've learned from those... what's their name? The bankers. They have excellent etchings. They showed them to us." "So you visited the Schutzbergs?" the hostess asked from her samovar. "We did, ma chère. They invited my husband and me for dinner, and I was told that the sauce at that dinner cost 1,000 rubles," Princess Miyaki said loudly, sensing that everyone was listening to her. "And it was a most vile sauce. Something green. I had to invite them back, and I made a sauce for 85 kopecks, and everybody liked it. I can't make 1,000-ruble sauces." "She's one of a kind," said the ambassador's wife. "Amazing," someone said. The effect produced by Princess Miyagi's talk was always the same, and the secret of it consisted in her saying simple things that made sense even if, as now, they were not quite appropriate. In the society in which she lived, such words produced the impression of a most witty joke. Princess Miyagi could not understand why it worked that way, but she knew that it did work, and she took advantage of it. Since everyone listened to Princess Miyagi while she talked, and the conversation around the ambassador's wife ceased, the hostess wanted to unite the company into one, and she addressed the ambassador's wife. "You definitely don't want tea? You should move over here with us." "No, quite all right here," the ambassador's wife replied with a smile, and continued the conversation they had begun. It was a very pleasant conversation. They were denouncing the Karenins, wife and husband. "Anna's changed very much since her trip to Moscow. There's something strange about her," said a friend of hers. "The main change is that she's brought a shadow home with her, Alexei Vronsky." "What of it? Grimm has a fable, a man without a shadow, a man deprived of a shadow, and it's his punishment for something. I could never understand where the punishment lay, but it must be unpleasant for a woman to be without a shadow." "Yes, but women with a shadow generally end badly," said Anna's friend. "Button your lip," Princess Miyagi suddenly said, hearing these words. "Karenina is a wonderful woman. Her husband I don't like, but I like her very much." "Why don't you like the husband?" "He's such a remarkable man," said the ambassador's wife. "My husband says there are a few such statesmen in Europe." And my husband says the same thing to me, but I don't believe it, said Princess Miyagi. If our husbands didn't say it, we'd see what's there. And Alexei Alexandrovitch, in my opinion, is simply stupid. I say it in a whisper. Doesn't that make everything clear? Before, when I was told to find him intelligent, I kept searching and found myself stupid for not seeing his intelligence. But as soon as I say he's stupid in a whisper, everything becomes so clear, doesn't it? How wicked you are today. Not in the least. I have no other way out. One of us is stupid. Well, and you know no one can ever say that about oneself. No one is pleased with his fortune, but everyone is pleased with his wit, said the diplomat, quoting some French verse. That's it exactly. Princess Miyagi turned to him hastily. But the thing is that I won't let you have Anna. She's so dear, so sweet. What can she do if they're all in love with her and follow her like shadows? But I never thought of judging her. Anna's friend tried to excuse herself. If no one follows us like a shadow, it doesn't prove that we have the right to judge. And having dealt properly with Anna's friend, Princess Miyagi stood up and, together with the ambassador's wife, joined the table where a conversation was going on about the King of Prussia. Who were you maligning there? Asked Betsy. The Karenins. The princess gave a characterization of Alexei Alexandrovitch. The ambassador's wife replied with a smile, sitting down at the table. A pity we didn't hear it, said the hostess, glancing at the door. Ah, here you are at last. She addressed Vronsky with a smile as he came in. Vronsky was not only acquainted with all those he met there, but saw them every day, and therefore he entered with that calm manner with which one enters a room full of people one has only just left. Where am I coming from? He replied to the ambassador's wife's question. No help for it, I must confess. From the buffet. It seems the 100th time, and always new pleasure. Lovely. I know it's shameful, but at the opera I fall asleep, and at the buffet I stay till the last moment and enjoy it. Tonight, he named a French actress and wanted to tell some story about her, but the ambassador's wife interrupted him in mock alarm. Please don't talk about that horror. Well, I won't then. The more so as everybody knows about these horrors. And everybody would have gone there if it was as accepted as the opera, put in Princess Miyagi. If you enjoy this format, please leave a like and subscribe and return tomorrow for the next chapter.